All right, it is the 13th of November. Thank you so much for making time for the program tonight. This is Look Up Weekend. The top stories tonight.
The news headlines in association with
Tonight, tension remains high in Samburu following a banditry attack.
Kuna watu wenye kiburi na wachache wenye wako na hiyo tabia ya kulete fujo. Hawa ni lazima tuwakomeshe.
Also tonight, President RUTO attends church service in Baringo as insecurity in the Reef Tech Center stage.
He has the money. So the money never was not touched by us or my daughter or anybody in this family. So that's how our property is going.
And rogue lawyer evicts his handicapped client from her house in Nairobi.
Yippee! Kamata floating at 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optivent's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
All right, now remember, you can be part of the program by engaging us on our socials at Amwai Brian, that is on Twitter at Lookuptv. The hashtag to use tonight is LookUpWeekend. We are also live on Facebook. You can send us your feedback there and we'll be able to sample some of it as we continue with the program tonight. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Felista Adundo. Now let's continue. Start this program rather. Tension remains high in Samburu following a banditry attack that left several people injured. Now the residents are now pleading for government's intervention to calm the protracted conflict that has so far led to loss of life.
Samburu Central residents are now calling for the government's intervention after the protracted bandit attacks in the area. According to the report, the attack has left one person badly injured and cattle killed. The residents now want security to be restored in the area and also calling to the security apparatus to put to an end the cattle rustling in the area.
Hii watu inakaa kama Iraq. Hii watu wako na masilaha nyingi sana. Ako na masilaha mpaka hata hatuna uwezo kabisa ya kufanya ABCD na watu. Imeshindikana kabisa. Sasa hii ndio silaha yetu hapa. Unaona? Hatuna bunduki. Na mtu ako na bunduki. Ako na bunduki. Imeshindikana, sasa tunalilia serikali.
Titus Momanyi, the Samburu Central Sub-County Deputy County Commissioner, reiterated that so far the government is in pursuit of the bandits.
We had an attack in a village called Kutari in Losuk sublocation, Malaso, Samburu Central. No number of Pokot bandits attacked a village. There were livestock of Samburus that had stayed there overnight. They wanted to get away with them. Fortunately, we had a very strong force of the GSU, AS2 NPR that repulsed them.
Omanyi has also said that the attackers did not flee with any livestock. However, since GSU anti-stock unit and other security forces responded, the administrator has also pleaded with the locals to refrain from leaving the area because the government is conducting a multi-machinery examination that will begin on the 21st, and he encouraged them to maintain peace.
We appeal to the residents of Samburu Central to be calm and promote peace ahead of the examinations that are starting on 21st. We know the government is doing everything possible with the multi-agency machinery to restore peace in the belts or the affected areas. And all will be well, so we encourage the residents not to move.
Tobiko Lenyalote is one of such residents who is counting losses.
Alikuwa mbuzi yangu na akaenda mpaka wa leo. Hata kila siku amekuwa anapiga, hata leo amepiga pura, ameoa mtu. Sasa kila wakati sisi tunaomba serikali kama anawezekana, hawa watu wako na district yao na sisi tuko na district yetu, wamekuja kuishi hapa kwetu, wametusumbua ya kutosha. Kama angewezekana wasonge wafuge boundary yetu, waende boundary yao.
Grace Mureithi for Lookuptv.
Now, thank you, Grace Mureithi, for that report. President William RUTO has pledged to put an end to insecurity in Baringo and other places in Baringo County. Now, speaking at the ACK Church in Baringo County, where he attended a church service, the head of state put on notice those sponsoring chaos in the rift that his government will deal with warmongers accordingly. Shadrach Kareria now reports.
President William RUTO and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua flocked with other politicians on Sunday, attended a church service at ASK Church in Baringo County. It is during the service where the head of state assured the resident of Baringo that his government is committed to ending insecurity in Baringo and other surrounding counties.
Wale wachache wanasumbua nyinyi na kusumbua sisi, hawa wachia mimi. Hawa lazima tuwanyoroshe ndio wawache kulete fujo.
President RUTO gave a warning to armed groups who have been terrorizing residents, asking them to surrender before he goes for them.
Mimi nilishawaambia kazi hiyo ya kukoroga amani, kupiganisha wananchi, bunduki left, right and center, hiyo kazi tutaikomesha. Wawache hiyo kazi kwa hiari, na kama hawatawacha kwa hiari, watawacha kwa lazima.
In a rejoinder, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua differed with Tiaty MP William Kamket, who asked RUTO to withdraw police officers from Tiaty and deploy them in the forest where there is insecurity threat.
Wamejaa barabara, askari. Naomba Your Excellency, hakuna bandit kwa barabara. Hawako kwa barabara, wako msituni. Hawako kwa barabara. Hawako kwa barabara. So naomba saa waende tu iko raia wengi wanataka biashara ya amani.
Gachagua stating that the police will remain at Tiaty until all illegal farms are surrendered to the government.
Wameletwa hapo kwa sababu iko kazi ya kufanywa. Njia ya kutoa hao askari, mheshimiwa, muongee kama viongozi, warudishe bunduki, askari waondoke. Lakini kwa sababu mimi ni Mkristo na sema ukweli, ni kuambia mchana rais wangu akiwa hapa, kabla bunduki hasijarudi hakuna askari tutaondoa. Haiwezekani.
If RUTO's plan sails through, the residents of Baringo and other surrounding counties will have a reason to smile, although the process might not be an easy one, noting that the previous government failed to solve the matter. RUTO also committed to fighting illegal brews and corruption in the country.
Mambo ya pombe haramu tutakabiliana nayo. Hawa watu ndio wako na fake stamps nyingi, hawalipi ushuru.
Shadrach Kareria, Lookuptv.
Now, the persistent drought and hunger that is striking the country has now dawned to various schools across the country, more so in the eastern region, with public schools having a total of 30% absenteeism. Now, while addressing the media, Michael Ngui, who is the NAT Secretary in Yatta states that the effects have adversely affected operations in public schools, leading to an increased rate of student absenteeism.
The hunger crisis that is biting the country's land has now fallen on school-going children in various schools across the country, with students choose staying home rather than suffering in class. More than 30% of the students in the eastern region have abstained from schooling, according to Yatta Sub-County NAT Secretary Michael Ngui. The high rate of students in attendance has delayed the public school operations.
Children, actually, we have quite a number of absenteeisms in Machakos County as we speak now. 30% of the pupils are not attending school because of hunger.
With the drastic hunger crisis tormenting learning institutions, Ngui has appealed the government to take consideration and intervene in the matter.
So we are requesting the county government and the central government to have affirmative action to provide food in our schools, because hunger is striking our schools, and the standards will be lowered if we don't take that one as affirmative action.
This comes in the backdrop when students are preparing for their ND exams, even as the government institutions weigh in to cushion its support to 60,000 students in more than 150 schools of Meru, Garissa, Marsabit, Tana River, Samburu, Makueni, Kajiado, Nyeri and Machakos. In the same line, 100 widows from the drought-stricken area of Mariakani in Kilifi County have a reason to smile after a non-governmental organization gifted them with 200 goats for free to cushion them against the disaster. Kilifi County has more than 150,000 affected by the drought disaster, and widows are among those highly affected.
Then giving a pair of goats to a widow, the goat's milk sustains them with nutrition. The he-goat, well, you know, the he-goat will begin the goat herd, and so the widow then becomes a small business person. We encourage the widows, we inspire them to give the first baby goat.
We have these rains have already come, that these goats are going to be taken care of, and within a short time, the widows are going to be enjoying goat milk with the small children in their families.
Zile ward ambazo zimeathirika, si ndio? Zimeathirika na janga la njaa. Hata sisi vile tulivyobarikiwa, na sisi tujikusanye kama hopes and dreams, tuweze pia kufikia wale ambao wameathirika na mambo ya njaa zaidi, si ndio?
To curb deaths caused by drought and hunger, stakeholders have urged the public sectors to partner with the private sectors to embrace sustainability, reporting and continued climate financing strategies as a way of combating climate change challenges and drought. Masasokech, Lookuptv.
Now, a family in Kilimani is crying for help after they were allegedly defrauded property worth millions by their lawyer and are now calling on the government to intervene as they are close to being evicted from their current and only home. This is a story prepared by Ian Ketani.
Shege did not know my daughter would live. I think he was doing that knowing that he's going to die.
It is at Casablanca Vias that we meet Monica Wambui and her mother Pauline Nganga, who narrate how they were defrauded their house at Dennis Court by a city lawyer, a house she bought at 6.5 million shillings.
I bought it in 2004 from the developer. I bought it at 6.5 million. I got financing of 2.5 because when I came back, I had 40,000 pounds. Yeah, sterling pound.
This house had a tenant, and that tenant was the lease was almost over. So the same lawyer, or when another tenant was coming in, we decided to approach the lawyer to write so as he can write a lease agreement or tenants agreement with the new tenant. And that's how Shege Wainaina came into these properties.
Wambui, who came back to the country from the United Kingdom due to ill health, explained that the lawyer took advantage of her condition and sold her Kilimani property by presenting forged documents to the bank alleging that he was under instructions from the property owner.
Without a sale agreement, without anything, the house was changed. The bank agreed to change the house or to give him the title and to give him the title and the transfer without sale agreement, without transfer, any transfer that was she signed. He never signed anything, and the bank transferred to Posh Holdings. We got we were given the owners of the Posh Holdings. And we found that the owners of Posh Holding was Shege Wainaina.
The lawyer is also alleged to have sold her other property at Casablanca Vias with the said buyer having already remitted the money amounting to 13.5 million shillings to the lawyer's bank account.
He pushed the tenant to move out of December, the 30th of December 2008. The reason he was pushing the tenant to move out so vigorously is because clearly he wanted the house vacant, because immediately the tenant vacated on the 30th of December 2008. On the 12th of January 2009, 12 days later, he sold this property to a lady called Lucy. He said that instruction to sell the property came on the 12th. The lady accepted the offer on the 12th. She paid for the property on the 13th using a personal check from Prime Bank. Yet they both bank at the same bank and the same branch. They both are at Prime Bank, Hurlingham. So I don't know why she was writing a check, because I think if you're buying something, it would have been easier to do an internal transfer because you're in the same branch, the same thing, you know.
Wambui and her mother decried that despite seeking help from relevant authorities and even heading to court, the efforts have been futile, with an eviction order having been issued for the said property.
We were sent from Kiambu, we were sent to Bank Fraud. And when we went to Bank Fraud, the Bank Fraud found that they should go to DPP and report this and know whether they should be given a court order to be able to investigate, to take the bank to investigate the account. Shockingly, Wairimo did not have such money in the account. Also, it's as if Wairimo opened the account in Prime Bank for the purpose of defrauding her this property. They found that they also Chegewenena's account did not have 12 million, not even 1 million.
The question remains, how did the said banks authorize transactions without thorough scrutiny of the documents? And why did the buyer of the second house open a new bank account prior to the transaction, only to close it a few months later?
It is here at the Casablanca Villas along Dennis Street Road that Monica Wambui and her mother Pauline Nganga are crying for help after being allegedly defrauded property worth millions, where a lawyer was now fled to Tanzania. Ian Keitani, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Right, now that story by Ian Keitani brings us to our first break here on the program. Do not go too far. We'll be back with more, including Matter Sports.
Welcome, you're watching The CEO. On this show, where we invite masters, captains of industry.
It's all about working in teams. Customers are happy, it's a good month, the markets are good. I mean, those are very exciting moments.
Ladies and gentlemen who tell us where and how to find money and put money in our pockets, and how to go about doing business in the best possible way.
For me, I'm not serving myself, I'm serving community.
Yippee! Kamata plotting at 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optivent's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Right, now, thank you so much for staying with us here on the program, and let's continue bringing you up to date with matters current affairs. Now, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has called on Kenyans to be patient as the Jubilee administration works towards fixing the economy. Now, speaking at St. Jude Catholic Church in Napara, Bumula constituency in Bungoma County, Wetangula said the Kenya Kwanza government inherited a dying economy from the Jubilee government. Wetangula said the Kenya Kwanza government will work towards empowering farmers to uplift the agricultural sector, promising the people of Mulembe Nation that the ailing Nzoia Sugar and Mumias Sugar companies are top of the agenda.
Na nataka kuomba wa Kenya, vile serikali imeanza, tuunge mkono. Tumepata kama uchumi umezoroteka kabisa, lakini nia na uwezo wa kufufua uchumi iko. Pesa ya Hustler Fund, akina Jack waheshimiwa, inakuja bunge, watajadili, watoe rules za engagement, vile katiba inataka, pesa zifike mashinani, sifanye kazi. Tayari rais ametuma waziri wake, atakuwa hapa next week kuja kwa mambo ya Nzoia na kuenda kusaidia kuwaleta kiwanda cha majani chai kule Mount Elgon. Hizi barabara Jaka amesungumzia, hii ni gurudumu tunasukuma zote. Tuhakikishe in another 5-10 years Bungoma must look like Bungoma.
Now, away from that, the vetting of President William Ruto's nominees, PS nominees rather, is set to start tomorrow, the 14th of November, after the conclusion of the elections of heads of different committees in the August House. Now, 11 of the 51 PSs are lined up to face MPs as the lawmakers start the 5-day process of determining their suitability. Exactly 2 months after he was sworn in as president, William Ruto's government is taking shape as PS nominees prepare to face the vetting committees this week. Weeks earlier, 22 CSs were taken through the task of defending their suitability. And now, it is turn of those who will be the administrators of the state departments and the principal secretaries to know their fate as Ruto's government continues to take shape and whether they'll be sitting on the decision table of the different departments they had been nominated to serve in. The vetting of the accounting officers in ministries will complete the cycle of vetting by the legislators, it being the final piece of a fully constituted cabinet. 11 of the nominees for the position of principal secretaries are lined up to face MPs on Monday as members of the August House start a 5-day process of determining their suitability. Different from the vetting of the CSS, which was done by a vetting committee selected and chaired by the Speaker of the House, the PSS will face various departmental committees under which the offices they want to assume fall. On Monday 14th at 9 a.m., Julius Korir, who has been nominated to the State Department for Cabinet Affairs, will be vetted by the Committee on Administration and Internal Affairs, chaired by Narok West legislator Gabriel Tongoyo. At the same time, on Monday 14th, Philip Hassame, who is the nominated PS in the State Department of Crops, and Chris Kipto, PS nominee for National Treasury, will be facing MPs in the committees on Agriculture and Finance and Planning, respectively. Some of the questions that Hassame will face include the issue of drought in the country, that has affected close to 4 million Kenyans and how they plan to tackle it. On matter security, at 11:30 a.m., Raymond Omolo, who is the PS nominee to the Interior Docket, will face MPs and he will be tackling security issues. Harry Kimtai will also be before the Committee on Agriculture, while former ICT Director at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, James Mohati, who is the PS nominee State Department for Economic Planning, will be answering questions on his suitability before the Committee on Finance and Planning Committee. On the final day, which is Friday, November 8th, Tourism PS nominee John Olotua, Nixon Korir of Lands, John Kipchumba Tanui of ICT, Veronica Nduva of Gender, and Ismail Madei of Youth are among those who will be vetted. The PS nominees that will be facing the committees in the 5 days are Teresia Mbaika Malokwe of State Department for Devolution, Ambassador Julius Bitok, State Department for Citizen Services, Dr. Chris Kipto, the National Treasury, Patrick Mariro, Defense, Korir Singoei, State Department for Foreign Affairs, Roslyn Njogu, State Department for Diaspora Affairs, Charles Hinga, State Department for Housing and Urban Development, Professor Edward Kisiangani, State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications, Engineer Peter Tum, State Department for Medical Services, Dr. Belio Kipsang, State Department for Basic Education, Beatrice Inyangala, State Department for Higher Education and Research, and Alfred Kombudo, State Department for Trade, among others. The vetting committees must table their report in the House before November 24th. There are 44 committees in the 13th Parliament, including 24 select committees and 20 departmental committees. The nominees, after being vetted, will await the approval by the House and the final appointment by the President. Brian Amwai, Lookuptv. Now, away from that, about 60 young members of parliament across the political divide are in Nyanza, Naivasha rather, deliberating on issues affecting the young people. Now, speaking on behalf of the members, Molo MP Kuria Kimani said they are planning to come up with policies that will benefit the youth who are the majority in the country.
The other one will be in charge of political affairs. So they both have deputies. There are only 2 deputies and 2 execs. One in charge of admin and political affairs. The next position, please. Order, members. The next position is KYPA. The next position is executive member, minorities, partners, and donor. So the first committee will be Committee on Public Participation. We'll have a chairperson and a vice chairperson. The next committee is Committee on Empowerment and Projects. There are so many challenges there. And matters, school fees and whatever. So hapo iko na kazi mingi pia sana. Will be chairperson, there will be a chairperson and a vice.
Now, away from that, in our daily segment of Your Opinion Matters, we interacted with the Mwananchi on the ground and asking asking a question on the rising cases of insecurity in the city. Take a look.
Following the high levels of robbery within Nairobi, today on Your Opinion Matters, we get various opinions of residents within various parts of Nairobi.
Salama ya hapa Nairobi sio mzuri vile. Siku hizi sijui vijana ni juu ya hawana kazi, wamekuwa wakali kuliko hapo mbeleni. Siku hizi wakikupata hata kama ni saa 2 ama saa 3, wanakunyang'anya simu, kama wako na kisu hata wanaweza kununga na kisu. So usalama inafaa iangaliwe zaidi.
Na vile mimi nasema hapa, bodaboda si wabaya, lakini kuna wale ambao wanatumia uwizi upande wa bodaboda kutaka watu hapa masimu, hata wakikupata na simu wanakunyang'anya. Hata ukitembea barabara hapa, bodaboda wanaweza toka nyuma na kunyang'anya simu. Wanajiita bodaboda sio bodaboda, lakini upande wa bodaboda sio mbaya sana.
Hapa sijaona vibaya kwa sababu mimi huwa nakuja hapa saa 11:30, nauza mpaka saa 2, alafu saa 4 narudi, nakaa mpaka saa 1. Sijawahi na yani kitu kibaya hapa kwa hii barabara yetu. Watu wanapita, wanauza, mimi na wawacha narudi kwa nyumba. Kwa hii barabara yenyewe sijaona kitu mbaya.
Penye mimi naishi vitu zimekuwa tofauti kwa sababu vijana hawana kazi. Saa hii ukipita kama uchungi usalama wako unaweza nyang'anywa hata simu kwa sababu vijana hawana kazi. Na vile hawana kazi walitoa kazi mtaani, hiyo ndio ilikuwa inasaidia. At least usalama ilikuwa vizuri, lakini saa hii usalama haiko sawa. Vijana wanatafuta kazi na hawana.
Ndio upande wa bodaboda kuna wale wanafanya kazi vizuri na kuna hao wanachukua majukumu ya kuchukua kama kupora watu na hizo gari wanaharibia wengine, lakini si wote wabaya.
Kama tao sasa siwezi toka masaa za late kama kitambo. Sasa tao kama nini archives kwenyewe unaibiwa mchana. Security imekuwa tu noma yani. Hadi mtaani security ni noma tu. Mimi ningetaka tu kufikisha kwa gava wa tighten security kila mahali ndio kila mtu akuwe safe.
It is clear that residents of Nairobi are concerned with the high cases of insecurity, and now they hope that police officers will take action. Reporting for Lookuptv, I'm Susan Jerry, Nairobi.